13th.
It's on there, Mark. I'm watching it.
All right, thanks.
13th.
All right, we will go ahead and call the meeting to order of the Johnson County Fiscal Court, the regularly scheduled meeting of April
It's on there,
13th.
Mark. I'm watching it.
Okay.
Well,
All right, we will go ahead and call the
that's not me doing that.
Fiscal Court, the regularly scheduled meeting of April
It's on
13th.
there, Mark. I'm watching it.
Okay.
7-second delay. It's a swap shop.
Saying she's watching it. I'm fine. You can watch it.
Here. Okay.
7-second delay. Swap shop.
All right. Did that pause it, Regina?
Uh-oh. Something went wrong on my end. I don't see anything.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, there it is.
Mute their mic until we get ready to one of us want to speak or something. That would have all that background noise.
I don't even know how to do that.
Well, are you on your phone, Mike?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, wait a minute. I can mute it now if need
Okay.
be.
There you go.
I'm pretty much quiet though. I don't have anybody here
Okay.
for a change.
Now is it still on YouTube? Is it still on YouTube? We're still. Okay, now I think I've unmuted everybody.
Monica. Evan.
Regina, is yours unmuted?
It is now.
Okay. Is it still on YouTube at this point?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
You
Let's
might want
try-
to consider muting some of our buttons because it's creating a lot of background noise.
I'll just mute them all.
Okay.
All right. We will call to order the meeting of the Johnson County Fiscal Court for April 13th of 2020 at 4:45 p.m. This meeting is being conducted via video teleconference, which is provided for by the Fiscal Court to be able to do this by Senate Bill 150, as well as an opinion by the Attorney General. This meeting is also being broadcast live on YouTube and can be viewed on YouTube by searching the channel Johnson County KY. We do have a quorum, so we'll call the meeting to order. We have myself, Mark McKenzie, Judge Executive, Kathy Adams, Commissioner of District 1, and Mikey Gerald, Commissioner of District 2, which would constitute a quorum for the Johnson County Fiscal Court. And if you would, I have put the flag behind me. So if we would, let's all stand and begin our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you all. By way of announcements, we do have a few announcements that I'd like to make as we get started with our meeting. One is obviously there's been a lot of information that we continue to put out related to the COVID-19 or coronavirus. And we really need to continue to encourage all of our citizens to continue to follow the directives of both the state and local officials as it relates to no gatherings, obviously social distancing, and limiting the amount of individuals in our essential businesses that are still open for business. We want to be conscious and considerate of all of our neighbors. We know the next few weeks are going to be very challenging as our public health officials has laid out for us. So we want to continue to monitor those things going on with the coronavirus, but we also want to do our part as citizens and make sure that we're doing everything we can to protect one another and protect the vulnerable folks in our community, those who are over a certain age and those who have compromised health issues and health systems. And so we want to continue to keep that in the forefront for us as we move forward in this community. Also, I want to mention a couple of things related to solid waste. We've been advertising that the tire collection process by the state will take place, would have taken place in May. That has been postponed by the state to a date later in the year, so we will advise everyone of that. The roadside cleanup program that we had last year that was so successful, that program has been temporarily suspended because of the COVID-19 concerns, because of social distancing and the use of the community service individuals and inmates. We've had to suspend that program. Also, the Pride Cleanup Month, which is in this month in April, has also been postponed. Have received a lot of questions about a countywide cleanup. We had wanted to do that in the spring of this year, and that is still something we're working on. I had a conference call last week with Apple Valley Sanitation to try to work out some details on that. Again, he and the county are trying to work out a plan that would allow for proper social distancing to protect both his employees as well as our citizens who would go to Apple Valley to drop off for the countywide cleanup. And so please stay tuned. We will put out information on that in the very near future. Within the next week is our plan to put something out on that will provide the information for how that process will work. But it is our intention to continue to provide the opportunity for the countywide cleanup. We will probably just have to modify the process just a little bit from what we did last year to, again, make sure that both employees of Apple Valley and citizens of Johnson County can stay safe as they would take their items up there. Is there any questions on that particular item from any of the commissioners? Okay. You also have in your packet, and I want to mention this as well, where the city of Paintsville provided a power cot to the coroner's office, and I want to thank the city of Paintsville for that piece of equipment. That will certainly be a big benefit in the operation of the coroner's office. This will help them not to have to do as much lifting as what they've done in the past, and so we appreciate the city of Paintsville providing that power cot to be used in the coroner's office. The last thing I want to mention before we move on to the actual items on the agenda is I want to mention the census. If you have not completed your census, please do so. It's online this year for the first time in history. It's about as easy as it can get. Probably will take you less than 10 minutes to complete that online. You should have gotten something in the mail that would have given you a code. That will make it much easier if you enter that code when you go to do your census. But right now, Johnson County and East Kentucky in general is not really submitting as we would like at this point. Our participation rate needs to step up. So we need to do a little better job with our participation in the census. And again, maybe it's something as simple as we each need to, all of us need to identify 5 people and give them a call and ask them if they've completed their census, and let those 5 people call 5 more and 5 more. But this is where our funding for a lot of our programs gets established, is our federal funds for things like senior citizens and schools, veterans, and so many different programs. And so it's vitally important that this census get completed as accurately as they possibly can. So please do whatever you can to help promote getting the census participation rate up here in Johnson County. That's the last thing that I have on announcements for today. If there's no questions, if there is questions, it's no problem, but is there any questions from among the commissioners? Yeah, Mike.
Would there be anything wrong with just going, if I'd done just like a live Facebook post, just, hey, Johnson County, Commissioner District 2, while we're stuck in, nothing else to do, be sure, is there anything wrong with that?
Not a thing at all. Matter of fact, we've got some public service announcements that are going to go out hopefully this week locally as well to try to help encourage people to do it. So anything we can do, Mike, to promote people, to encourage people to complete that questionnaire would be very helpful. So by all means, yeah.
Okay.
Next on the agenda is the approval of minutes for both the regular called meeting on March the 9th and the special called meeting on April the 8th. You have copies of those minutes in front of you for your review. If you have any questions or if there's any changes that need to be made to those minutes, please let us know. Otherwise, we would, I will make one comment about the minutes on the item 13 from the regular call meeting on March 9th. That probably needs, I think, Commissioner Adams, if I'm not mistaken, I think your motion on the approval of that heating and cooling bid was subject to confirmation of the specifications being met. So that's
Yes.
probably one change that we probably should make to that. And by the way, that's complete now. That work is complete. But other than that, that was the only comment I had on the minutes. Is there any other changes that anybody would recommend to those? If not, we entertain a motion to approve those minutes, both sets of minutes for the regular meeting and the special call meeting.
Make that motion.
Have a motion by Commissioner Adams. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gerald. Any other discussion on the minutes? All in favor? Any opposed? Next item on the agenda is approval of the monthly bills. You have the claims list, and you also have the additional claims as well, individual claim sheets in front of you, provided in your packet. If you have any questions on those, please feel free to ask. This covers all departments: general fund, road department, jail fund, and also LGEA. Comments on any of the bills or any questions? If not, we entertain a motion to approve the bills.
Make a motion to approve the bills.
We have a motion to approve by Commissioner Gerald. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Adams. Any other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Next item on the agenda is the approval of transfers and the financials. Those were emailed to you today. There's the transfers. They are related to a transfer for the replacement of those heating cooling units in the second floor courtroom. And then the other three transfers are related to the clerk and sheriff's offices. As a transfer, they each have reserved for transfer in their budget, and so they've requested transfers to those designated line items: materials and supplies, gasoline, and then reimbursements for the clerk. You also have on the second page the monthly transfer from the general fund to the jail fund, and then a small transfer from general fund to the employee health insurance account. You also have the financials for the month ending March 31st, which is through 3/4 of our fiscal year. You have a copy of those as well. So is there any questions on any of the transfers or the financials? If not, we would entertain a motion to approve both the transfers and the financials.
I make that approval.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Adams. Second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gerald. Any other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Next item is a amendment to the sheriff's budget. we do this periodically. This is the sheriff receives CLEF money and also school resource officer additional funding that's not budgeted in his in the original budget at the beginning of the year. And he has requested that the funds of $8,757.64 be amended into his budget and be assigned to deputies' gross salaries line item on the expense side. Is there any questions related to the budget amendment from the sheriff's office? If not, we entertain a motion to approve these this budget amendment.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Gerald. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Adams. Any other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Next on the agenda is the Emergency Management Monthly Activity Report from Emergency Management Director Gary McClure. Gary, would you like to discuss anything on the report? Bring anything to
Just mainly, of course, if everybody's got a copy, majority of the month of March was pretty much taken up and filled up with COVID-19 virus as far as meetings and webinars and conference calls. And another thing that I had to, assist in coordinating was getting personal protective equipment down here to Johnson County for, the hospital and all the first responders.
Yeah.
So, we've been taking care of that part of it too, but that was the majority of my activity report for the month.
Gary, I think probably there's probably a lot of folks that don't realize that, that emergency management as part of your function is that the state has inventory of these items, and then they designate those out to all areas of the state, and it's part of your responsibility to receive those items, inventory those items, and then distribute them accordingly to give these different services, fire departments, hospital, health department, whatever that might be that's in this situation. They need that PPE, that personal protective equipment.
Exactly, and of course the health department plays a big role in it also, along with myself, and we actually have to submit a daily inventory report to Frankfurt as far as usage of PPE. And I know I was on the phone with Ed over at the fire station this morning, trying to get them on board, tracking their inventory, because
Okay.
at a later date, if for some reason you need additional PPE, you have to, in order to qualify for that, you have to, submit that daily inventory. So yeah, that's something that we have to try to coordinate and help out with.
Okay. Any questions for Gary about the monthly activity report for emergency management? If not, we entertain a motion to approve the emergency management monthly activity report.
I make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Adams. Is there a second? Second by
Second.
Commissioner Gerald. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, next on the agenda is to open bids for the replacement of the drainage structure at Tiny Branch Road. This is a bridge drainage structure at Tiny Branch that we identified as one that has some concerns about its condition, and the state has given us approval for $100,000 toward the replacement of this structure. And so we received one bid. The deadline was today at 4 o'clock. I received one bid, and that was at 2:13 today. I don't know if you can see it or not, but from Bush and Burchett. And so I'll open that bid now. Bush and Burchett says, to whom it may concern, Bush and Burchett Incorporated proposes to replace the existing Tiny Branch Bridge for the lump sum price of $118,000. The new bridge will be 45 to 50 feet long by 13 feet wide, 8-inch reinforced concrete deck, 36 by 150 steel girders, and 1 H-pile end bent and 1 abutment on solid rock. Johnson County will be responsible for maintaining traffic during construction and for relocating any utilities found to be in the way of the new bridge. Any necessary right-of-ways, construction easements, or permits required will be obtained by Johnson County. Standard language there. So we will go, we will record the fact that Bush and Burchett was the only bid that we received for this Tiny Branch Bridge project at a lump sum price of $118,000. And again, we have a commitment from the State Emergency Fund for $100,000 to help support the replacement of this structure. Is there any comments or questions about the bid that we have? Hearing none, we entertain a motion to approve this bid subject to review by the road superintendent that it meets specifications for this project.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Gerald. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Adams. Any other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you all. We will get that project moving as quickly as possible. We already have, again, all of our confirmation from the state for that particular project. We appreciate Philip Keaton, our road superintendent, helping secure that funding as well. And for the state, seeing this as a need for us for emergency funding for this bridge to serve the residents that actually utilize this bridge to get to their homes. Next on the agenda this afternoon is a presentation of the budget and a plan of work from the Conservation District. And we have with us today Kevin Pelfrey to share the information with us in the Conservation District. They are a taxing district in this county, but the fiscal court does not approve or amend or anything related to their taxing district, to their rates or anything like that. However, for information purposes, to keep us informed, they annually will present their budget and their plan of work. So Kevin, if I've described that accurately enough, we'll turn it over to you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yep.
All right. Yes, sir. I think it was already submitted. Our budget was turned in over to you all from Erica Reynolds, and also our plan of work. Basically, what I'm going to do is just explain a little bit of as to what our plan of work is and to what we would do and what we provide. If you have any questions about the budget and issues of that related to probably best to talk to Bob Blanton and Tyler Ferguson, Tyler being our treasurer and Bob is our chairman. So they can pretty well answer all the questions on the budget and issues. Mostly what we do, we work with the NRCS, the Natural Resources Service here in Johnson County, and provide services for the community, being through cost share programs with the state, cost share programs that people use for farm usage, and try to improve the daily use for farms and stuff here in Johnson County, and some projects that we have. One of the projects that you can attest to, Mr. McKenzie, is the project that we have going on at Boone's Camp, the watershed improvement project. And that project's a $220,000 improvement project that we are a partnership with the county on through Mr. Keaton, providing a lot of useful help and manpower and stuff for that project. And that's a project that we're proud to be associated with you all with. One of the things that we have some equipment over there right now. We have a grinder for brush and stuff like that we make available. We rent out to the citizens of Johnson County. We also have a no-till seed planter that's available for rent to use for the farmers here in Johnson County. That equipment is available. Right now, our chipper is in the shop right now getting some much needed repairs and stuff done to it, but it will be available as soon as it's complete and ready to go. We have a straw blower for people that are doing land clearing projects where they want to cover for seeding and stuff. We also work with the schools a lot. We do a lot of with Johnson Central FFA, the 4-H. We have a conservation writing and art program that we do for the grade schools and through middle school. They write essays and contests, and then they do an art project. And if it is picked, then it goes on to the state level to be picked to be used as part of an advertisement through the soil conservation through the state on the state level. We also work with the waste management coordinator here in Johnson County on to curb illegal dumping. In the past, we have done some stuff where we have actually worked with the county as far as a cleanup on some of those projects. So we have a lot of things that we're doing and a lot of things that are going, and we're located out there on Tays Branch there in here in just outside of Paintsville there on the old road Route 40 there by the ECAMI school. So if anybody has any concerns or anything, to stop by. One of the programs that we were doing this month, we were doing a tree giveaway where we have probably about 10 to 15 different varieties of seedlings that we hand out for free and give away to the people of Johnson County. That program has been kind of, like everything else, has been put on hold right now. So we're hoping to get those back whenever everything gets lifted and we can start mingling around with everybody again. So if any of you have any questions, that's it, kind of it in a nutshell. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Kevin, we do appreciate the work that NRCS does. It does bring a lot of value to the community. And in addition to the project over there at the Middle Fork of Greasy that we're working with you all on, and you mentioned the illegal dumps, and I think that we partnered or worked with you on a grant, I think, to clean up illegal dumps. And I think we've been awarded those 3 projects. And so we really appreciate y'all working with us to help bring more value to the community through some of these programs, because obviously the dollars are out there and we just need to keep seeking our fair share of them. That's
exactly right. The money's there. It's not a lot right now, but there's money out there and it's available through grants and stuff. And I know Regina, she's on top of those grants and stuff. So, if she needs any assistance, just have her to contact us over at the office and we'll be more than glad to help her out any way we can.
We appreciate it. Any other questions or comments about NRCS that we want to ask Kevin while we have him here? Mikey or Kathy, either one?
Yeah, Kevin, I would. You'd mentioned that you all have pieces of equipment that the people can use. Did they come and rent from you all, or?
Yes, ma'am. They come up in they get on a list. There's, of course, the no-till seeder it stays pretty booked up through the week and the weekends and stuff. So what you do is you come up and get on the list, and whenever it comes available, then we'll call and let you know when it's available and you come and get it. And, I've used it several times just to reseed our fields and stuff. So it's just a seeder. It's the no-till drill seeder. It runs off the tractor, ground driven. So you just pull it along, and it does a really good job. It's available. We have the wood chipper. Like I said, right now it's in the garage for some much needed repair and stuff. So, and the blade sharpened and stuff like that on it. But it is available also. It's a diesel engine. So it runs, it'll handle about anything that you can throw into it. And it does a really good job, and it's available too. So just to stop in and first, whoever wants to get it can go ahead and get on the waiting list for it. And as soon as it comes available, we call, you come pick it up. It's easy to tow with a pickup truck to your farm. I think Judge Preston just used it not too long ago on the cedar. So we just had it gone over and some maintenance done on it. So it's ready to go.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thanks, Kevin. Mike,
you're very welcome, sir.
Yeah, I do actually have one, just so I better understand the conservation district. I know that we had several pretty big slides back I guess a year ago now. What constitutes, was that because, are they involved in every one of those big ones, or was something special about the Boone's Camp one that I get, you see what I'm saying? That'd be my question. What constituted them being involved with that one?
I think the easy answer is it obstructed a waterway. And,
Correct.
and traditionally FEMA does not get involved in waterways. That usually falls to the organization like NRCS. Am I correct, Kevin?
Yes, sir. That's exactly right.
Okay.
Well, they had a big project over in Lawrence County on the Blaine Creek that we just finished, or in the process of finishing and stuff. So yeah, it has a lot. Most of the money is available through the watershed funds, which is, again, like you said, it carries, the creeks and stuff like that, because the state highway doesn't fool with them. They just, if it crosses the creek and onto the road, they take care of the roadway and the right of ways to it. And then NRCS can fall into the watershed areas.
Okay. Just a criteria spec situation, I guess.
Yeah, like just on everyday landslides and stuff, a lot of that, it will depend. You would have to stop over to the office and ask about that. But as far as like from the roadway slides and stuff like that, that falls into the state highway.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, I understand.
We can work on embankments as long as we don't, deal with the actual waterways. But that particular one over there in your district, Mikey, on Middle Fork,
Oh, I know.
and completely impacted and obstructed that stream. So this was a great opportunity for us to access some funds, because that was something that we were going to have to address anyway, and it was not going to be a FEMA qualified project. And so this helps us to be able to fix that issue over there, thanks to this funding through NRCS. So, all right, Kevin, I think that's it. We appreciate.
All right, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
See you, Mike.
The next item on the agenda is other. If there's any other items to be mentioned from the commissioners for the meeting today, this is a regular call meeting, so we can discuss any other items that haven't already been mentioned on the agenda. Kathy?
Now, I would like to thank you and the mayor for everything that you all do and giving us the updates on the radio weekly. Also, the first responders and the people on the front line that are trying to keep everybody safe. And I just like to thank you for keeping us informed.
Well, that's how we'll all really support each other through this, guy, and I appreciate that. And you're right, we don't want to forget all the folks who are really in the line of fire with this situation, first responders. Even we don't want to forget the folks who work in these essential retail businesses that are still meeting our needs, allowing us to come in and purchase what we need. Those folks are obviously making a sacrifice as well. So, but I appreciate you saying that. We don't get through this as a community, so we do. So, thank you, Mike.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, a little rocky on the technology today, folks, but I think we'll be doing this for a while because the governor's asked that we not meet in person for our meetings, and we have both state legislation and an attorney general related to conducting meetings this way, and so we will be doing this for a while, I suspect. So maybe we'll get some of these bugs worked out on the technology side. But thank you all very much for bearing with us today as we work through this meeting. And if there's nothing else, then we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Gerald. Second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Adams. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, we stand adjourned. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.